Hi and welcome back everyone. Welcome back to another Black Desert mobile video. So due to popular demand, this is a video which will be about the PvE aspect of the warrior class. Right. So since the game is coming out soon, we'll be creating a few videos, right, to help especially new players, right, do the game as well. But for this video, we'll be focusing just on the Warriors PvE aspect. For now, let's start with the PvE skills of the Warrior class. So for the Warrior, even though he's not as good as the other classes, for example, the Ranger or the Witch in terms of PvE, if you want to play as a warrior, you have to use the AoE skills, right, that are available to you. For example, these are the skills that we are using for PvE. Essentially, this is what we are using for farming, right? So let's start with Spinning Slash, right? So this is a good skill that grants you super armor and also knock back on hits, right? So as shown by this animation, right? And also, if you are using this skill for PvE, be sure to use this lag riff, right? So this increases the skill's critical hit rate, which allows you to land more critical hits with this skill, right? And next we have Blade Strike. So this is another one of the PvE skills that allows you to do damage from, I guess, a mid-range distance, right? So even though the warrior is not a range class, right, he does have some mid-range skills that you should use for PvE farming, right? So to increase the efficiency of your farming, right? So this is one of them. And next we have Ground Smash, right? So this is a must-have skill, right, for PvE, right? It's quite obvious with the huge radius, right? The huge smash radius. So using this, you'll be able to deal damage to a group of monsters, right, at once, right? So the next PvE skill that you will need, we recommend you to have, is Battle Cry. So this skill is not exactly a huge radius damaging skill, but it gives you plus attack and defense for a limited period of time, and in addition to that, it does decent damage in a small radius, right? So in a dense spot of monsters, this is a rather decent skill for PvE farming for warrior, right? Next we have Charging Thrust. So this is another skill that you can use for PvE as well, because it is a good skill that you can use in between the AoE skills, as recommended as from the skill combos. So we will show this later in the video. And next we have Piercing Spear. So once again, this is to increase the efficiency of farming for the warrior, because the warrior is a melee class. So any range, even if it's just mid-range damaging skill, right, is good to have for PvE. And of course, you need to have Scars of Dusk, right? So this is the level 55 skill. You can also call this the ultimate skill of the warrior. So as you can see, this is an AoE skill with a rather huge radius, and that hits for up to a maximum of 6 hits. So just imagine being in the dense spots of monsters, right? With this skill, right, you can deal damage to a huge number of monsters at once. So let's get right to it. So let's start off with ground smash. Okay, so as you can see right now we are running out to a group of monsters. Okay, maybe over here. Okay, let's run out to a group of monsters over here. Okay, so let's see ground smash in effect. So when you run to a group of monsters and use ground smash, okay, the huge blast or smash radius allows you to do damage at the same time to a big number of enemies, right? So this directly increases your farming efficiency. So essentially you become more efficient at farming using ground smash, right? Okay, next let's take a look at blade strike. So as a warrior, you are a melee class. Okay, you need to be close range to deal damage, which is what we are doing now, right? So with blade strike, you can essentially just do damage from a distance. For example, in this manner. Okay, so for example, if we lock onto this enemy, okay, if we are from a distance, we can do damage from a distance, right? So that cuts the time that you need to run up to an enemy. Say for example, this, right? So the piercing spear is the same scenario, right? It increases your farming efficiency, right? Your farming efficiency by allowing you to do damage from a distance, right? So essentially you do not need to run up to that enemy to do damage to it as well. Okay, so next we have let's take a look at Battle Cry, right? So Battle Cry is a buff, but it also has a small damage radius, right? As you can see from here, right? So that damage radius will also push enemies back and provide a knockdown along as well. So that is an added bonus. Okay, and lastly we have the Scars of Dust, right? So this is one of the better AoE skills of the warrior. So okay, if you look at all the enemies here, okay, so watch what happens when we use the Scars of Dust skill, right? Let's use it here, right? Notice how many enemies that we were able to hit all at once, right? So those are the skills that you want for PvE, right? For farming more efficiently as a warrior. Okay. So in terms of skills, all right, hopefully that was helpful. Okay, let's take a look at things in addition to the skills for a warrior, right? And that will be the sub stats. For example, as a warrior, you need to max out your attack speed. Okay, there is a difference between 1% attack speed and 20% attack speed, right? If you have not seen my video where I did the comparison between 1.88% attack speed and 20% attack speed, okay, I will link the description. Okay, I will add the link in the description down below so that you can check it out as well, right? It should be on the Black Desert Mobile global playlist as well, so be sure to check that out as well. Okay, so in terms of PvE farming, right, in addition to skills, make sure you get your attack speed up, your critical up. Okay, so those two substats are the most important substats for farming as well, and in addition to your skills, right? So I hope that was helpful, and if you have not already done so, right, be sure to subscribe to the channel, okay, and look forward to our warrior PvP video that will be coming soon as well. Okay, as always, thanks and have an awesome day ahead.